This is a glute recruitment and neutral spine progression. So our goal with the next couple of exercise progressions is to find a neutral spine where you're relying more on glute recruitment. So for example, your natural resting state should not be a super curved low back like this. We want to be able to tuck the tail, meaning we're contracting glutes and elongating the muscles on the front of the hips. A good place to start with this is lying on the back. Gently tilting the pelvis back or tucking the tail, keeping that light contraction. It shouldn't feel like a really strong contraction. Keeping that contraction as we slowly lower one foot down and then slide that heel back up, maintaining that gentle contraction. So again, as your leg comes down, your low back should not arch off the table like this. Try to gently press the low back into the table as you move the foot up and down, and then go to do this on each side, nice and easy. If this feels easy, if you feel like you're able to maintain that neutral spine position, then a progression of that is to do almost the same thing except against the wall. And it's helpful to use your hand too, so you're trying to press the low back into the wall or into your hand, and just maintain that. You can play around with this. You can do a wall squat, so you're maintaining that contraction, coming into just a really small squat, mini squat, and then come up. If that feels pretty good, you can make it more challenging by bringing the arms overhead. And that's going to make it more challenging to keep the back against the wall, but this is another really good one. As you do this, try to make sure that you don't hunch forward at the upper back or shoulders. Try to be nice and vertical through the spine. If that feels pretty easy, then a third progression is using a stick. You can use the head of a Swiffer, for example, or a broom. Place it against the low back, and again, we want to avoid a super arched low back, so we don't want that big gap between the stick and my back. We want to gently tuck the tail, making sure that that stick is closer to the spine, hinging forward, and then come back up as you maintain that. If that's a challenge, it can be helpful to use a towel, that way you have something to press into. Same thing. Placing the towel at the low back where the small of the back or the curvature is. And again, find that neutral spine, so you're tilting the pelvis backward. If this is my pelvis where my watch is, we want to tilt the watch back or the pelvis back. But again, not hunching at the upper back. So being nice and vertical, tilting the pelvis, tucking the tail, squeeze the glutes, pressing into the towel, hinging forward, maintaining that as you come up.